Module 13, Shop Control Segment 2, Adding a Work Order. In this segment, you will learn the administrative functions of adding and preparing the work order to begin work. 1. To add a new work order. 2. The 3 types of work orders. 3. Data fields usage in the header. 4. To reserve or receive the main component. 5. To apply an existing template. 6. Record the customer's request for work. And 7. Print the traveler. Please note that this training segment assumes you already have basic working knowledge of the core quantum control modules, and you have completed Shop Control Segment 1. In this segment, we will add an external work order for the ABC Aviation Company to use as a sample. The scenario is a brake assembly overhaul. During the inspection, it is found that a repair needs to be done and parts need to be replaced outside the normal work. We will use the same work order throughout the entire training. However, we will briefly discuss the 2 other types of work orders, internal and non-stock. To begin, select the Shop Control icon arrow and then select Add. The Adding Work Order header opens. The first thing we need to do is select the type. An internal work order is opened when the main component being repaired is owned by your company. When the work is complete, the part is returned to your inventory. An external work order is created when a customer owns the main component and they initiate the work being performed. When the work is complete, the part is shipped back to the customer and will be billed for the repair. A non-stock work order does not require a main component part number, as it may be opened for a process rather than a part. A customer can be billed through a non-stock work order. For our example, we will select External. Notice that the customer field is now available for entry. Select the company field to open the company search criteria window. Enter the customer's name, ABC, and select OK. Once the customer is located, select the name. Notice that the customer's name, contact person, phone, fax, and email automatically transfers into the header. At this point, you may enter the customer's reference number. In the quantity field, enter the number of components the customer has sent you. The need date is the date the customer requires the part be returned to them. Next, we will enter the main component part number. The part number must be in the master part table. Type the part number 2602012. If the part number is not in the master table, you can add it during this process. Other fields you may want to use are the priority, estimated completion date, shop manager, and work type. The work type can be used for reporting purposes. 10 user-defined fields are available, 4 on the work order header tab, and 6 on the miscellaneous tab. The billing tab contains additional information regarding the customer, including the ship-to address, shipping service, and shipper number if appropriate. Once the work order header is complete, select OK at the bottom of the window. We are now ready to receive the customer's component into the system. Notice the customer's name defaults as the owner, and the stock remarks display customer stock. A stock line will be created and reserved to the work order. You may want to change the condition code and assign a location. Remember to enter the serial number. This is the same receiving process used when receiving inventory on a purchase order. If you need more information, please refer to the online help, Chapter 8, Receiving Inventory. Select Receive when the data entry is complete. Once the component is received, the Browsing Work Plans window opens. In this case, the part number selected in the work order header matches the part number on a template, so it automatically appears on the Browse window. If this is not the template you wish to use, select Find at the bottom of the window to locate the template. Press Enter to select the template. The work order window opens. Notice that the status of the work order is pending and in WIP. It will remain as pending until work has begun and an open status is applied. The work order will remain in WIP until the component is shipped back to the customer and the work order is released. Notice that the tasks that need to be completed for this type of repair are preloaded from the template. We also can see the instructions for each task. For example, select the Inspect task and then select the Instructions tab in the lower panel of the window. Here we see that there are 3 instructions that need to be completed under this task. Next, we can view the standard bill of materials used for this type of repair. Select the Parts Management tab to review the parts list. The next thing we need to do is add the request for work. There are several areas that may be used to enter this data. You may use the Symptom table, the Work Required area of a task, or Work Order Notes. For this example, we will use the Work Order Notes. Select Global, Notes. Let's enter Brake Assembly Overhaul with NDT process. Select OK. You will see the notes displayed in the upper right side of the work order screen. We are now ready to print the traveler for the inspectors and mechanics. Select Global, Print, Traveler. The Print Options window opens. Click Edit to select the data you would like to print on the traveler. Enable Print WO Notes, Print Task Instructions, Print Parts, and Print All Tasks. If you are using barcoding to collect labor, enable Print Barcode. You may print a separate page for each task. You may also print the traveler one task at a time by choosing Selected Tasks. This will give you an opportunity to select the task you wish to print at this time. Select OK and Print. Here's a print preview of the traveler. From the preview, we can print the traveler and hand it to the shop manager for distribution. Remember, you can begin a new page for each task. Now we are ready to open the work order by applying a status. Focus on the first task in the work order. Select the task menu at the bottom of the window and then select Status. From the status table, select a status that has a type of Open, such as In Process. You have an opportunity to enter notes in the box entitled Comments. Select OK to save the entry. When you return to the open work order, you will now see the status In Process in the header and the icon representing Open to the left of the first task. Also notice that the date and time has been applied to the task. The actual days the task is open begins calculating after applying the open status. Labor hours begin calculating after labor is applied, as we will see in the next segment. Next, let's see how to open an internal work order. Most everything is the same, except reserving the main component. Select the Shop Control Main Menu icon, then select Add. This opens the Adding Work Order header. The default type is Internal. Notice the Customer field is not accessible. Enter the main component part number 23001977 and any other necessary information and select OK. The Reserving Stock Line window opens. We need to choose the stock line from our inventory that will be reserved to the work order. After selecting the stock line, select OK. Remember that when the work is completed, the stock line is returned to your inventory. The Browsing Work Plans window opens, just as discussed above when adding the external work order. Find and select the template, and the new work order opens, ready to begin work. Now close the internal work order and let's return to the external work order. The teardown and cleaning is complete and the main component is ready for inspection. We are ready to close the teardown task. Select the teardown task and then select the Status History tab. Select Add. The status table opens. Select Completed from the table. Notice that you have the history of when the task was opened and by whom, as well as the date and time the task was closed. Lastly, we will open the inspection task using the same keystrokes. Select the inspection task and then the Status History tab. Select Add and then select In Process from the status table. Here we will enter the inspector's name in the comments area. Notice the icons on the work order. The lock next to the teardown indicates that the task has been completed. The hammer next to Inspect indicates that the unit is now in inspection. We also see the comments in the area on the lower right. In this example, the inspector's name that we entered when we applied the open status to the task. To recap what we have learned in this session, we added an external and internal work order. We learned how to apply a template to the work order. We learned how to add notes to the work order. We learned how to print the traveler. Lastly, we learned how to open and close tasks within the work order. You are now ready to begin Segment 3, Work Order Functions.